Here is the news on STM Radio Vision, Elisha. First, the headlines. U.S. urges Nigeria to strengthen protection for Christians following Kaduna abduction. Oshogbo NURTW clash, 3 confirmed dead. 2026 Lagos International Polo Tournament gallops off January 27. Japan suspends world's largest nuclear plant hours after restart. Now the news in full. I am Chidima Abel. The United States has called on the Nigerian government to intensify efforts to protect Christian communities after over 170 worshippers were abducted in Kaduna State, an incident that has reignited concerns over religiously motivated violence in the country. The abduction reportedly occurred on January 18, while initially denied by the Kaduna State government and the Nigeria Police Force. Authorities later confirmed the kidnapping on Wednesday. Sources say the abductors are demanding the return of 17 motorcycles valued at 28.9 million naira, allegedly seized during recent military operations, as a condition for releasing the victims. The call for action was made during a high-level United States-Nigeria Working Group meeting held in Abuja on Thursday. A U.S. Undersecretary for Political Affairs, Alison Hooker, stressed that Nigeria must do more to ensure the safety of Christians and the right to freely practice their faith. Hooker noted recent successes, including the release of 38 Christians abducted from a church in Kwara State and 265 from St. Mary's Catholic School, which she described as a result of ongoing U.S. engagement with the Nigerian government. However, she expressed concern over the Kaduna incident, urging further action to safeguard Christians' religious freedoms. She added that advancing religious freedom and security will strengthen bilateral relations between both countries, boosting trade, economic cooperation, health responses, and counter-terrorism efforts, while supporting the return of internally displaced persons to their communities. Responding, Nigeria's National Security Advisor, Malam Nuhu Ribadu, acknowledged the magnitude of the security challenge, pledging intensified military and law enforcement operations in affected areas. He described religiously framed violence as unacceptable, stressing that it will be treated as an attack on the Nigerian state. On the state scene, fresh details have emerged from Oshogbo, Osun State, confirming that 3 people have died following renewed violence linked to the killing of a chieftain of the National Union of Road Transport Workers, NURTW. Medical resources confirmed that the latest fatality died at the Osun State University Teaching Hospital, Uniosun, Oshogbo, after sustaining gunshot injuries during a violent disturbance that broke out days after the initial killing. Journalists gathered that the crisis followed the death of Kazim Oyebamiji, a.k.a. Mosquito, an aide to the Osun State chairman of the NURTW, Kazim Oyewale, popularly known as Asire Niba, who was reportedly attacked on Sunday while riding a motorcycle in the city. Security sources say tension heightened after the incident, with residents later reporting sporadic gunfire in part of Oshogbo, resulting in casualties among civilians who were not directly involved in the dispute. One of the deceased, identified as Abiodun Olanikpekun, was said to have been struck by a stray bullet while sitting at a roadside shop in the evening, shortly after returning from work. Reacting, the Osun State Police Command said it was aware of the earlier killing, but disputed reports of organized reprisal attacks. And now on the sports scene, the 2026 edition of the NPA GTCO Lagos International Polo Tournament is set to gallop off January 27, with over 25 teams jostling for top honors. President of Lagos Polo Club, Adeyemo Alakija, who disclosed this at a media briefing, said the international tournament would witness 3 weeks of high-octane polo games and climax with fanfare on February 15 at the foremost Ribadu Polo Ground in Ikoyi, Lagos. He commended the main sponsor, GTCO, other sponsors, and partners for supporting the prestigious and historic polo event. Lagos Polo Tournament manager Usman Dantata Jr., who gave a breakdown of the teams vying for top honors, also disclosed that professional players from Argentina, United Kingdom, South Africa, other renowned polo countries will be in attendance. Dan Tata listed the Magico Dumi Cup as the biggest prize of the tournament. Other major cups are the Chapel Hill Denham Open Cup, the Lagos Low Cup, as well as the crowded Lagos Silver Cup that will draw the curtain on the glamorous festival. The subsidiary prizes are the Oba of Lagos, Governor's Cup, Adedapo Ojora Memorial Cup, Sunny Dangote Cup, the Argentine Ambassadors Cup, the Independence Cup, Lagos Heritage Cup, and the Cancer Awareness Ball, among others. On the foreign scene, Japan has suspended operations at the world's largest nuclear power plant hours after its restart, its operator has said. Reactor number 6 restarted on Wednesday, a day later than planned, due to an alarm malfunction, the first at the plant to be turned on since the 2011 Fukushima disaster. Japan shut down all of its 54 reactors after a 9.0 magnitude earthquake triggered a meltdown at its Fukushima plant 15 years ago, causing one of the worst nuclear disasters in history. At the time, radiation leakage from the plant forced more than 150,000 people to evacuate their homes. Many have not returned despite assurances it is now safe. Following the suspension of reactor number 6 on Thursday, Kobayashina said it was stable and there is no radioactive impact outside. The reactor was initially set to start on Tuesday, but was pushed back due to a technical issue. It is due to begin operating commercially next month. And now to end the news, here is a recap of our stories. We told you that the United States has called on the Nigerian government to intensify effort to protect Christian communities after over 170 worshippers were abducted in Kaduna State. We also told you that fresh details have emerged from Osogbo, Osun State, confirming that 3 people have died following renewed violence linked to the killing of a chieftain of the National Union of Road Transport Workers, NURTW. The 2026 edition of the MPA GTCO Lagos International Polo Tournament is set to gallop off January 27, with over 25 teams jostling for top honors. Lastly, we told you that Japan has suspended operations at the world's largest nuclear power plant hours after it restarts, its operator has said. That ends the news on Esteem Radio Vision, Elisha, Osun State, Nigeria. The news was edited by Onwayo Ajeboye and was brought to you by Chidima Abel. For sponsorship and advert placement, please contact us on 0916 634 9956. You can also follow us on all our social media platforms, on Facebook at Esteem Radio Vision, on YouTube at Esteem Studio. Thanks for listening. Good evening.